Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Sam, and this week we're going to be doing a reading romance for a week reading vlog. I have a couple different genres and vibes that I'm going with. I feel like more so we're going to be leaning towards the dark romance vibes, so that's sort of what's on my TBR for this month. I'm really in the mood for just a good romance, and I have a couple that I'm pretty excited to get to, so I wanted to read them together. For the first book that we're going to be starting with is The Finish Line by Kate Stewart. This is the third and final book in the Ravenhood trilogy. I'm about halfway through so far, and I'm actually really hoping to finish this today, but we'll see if I can do that. The series as a whole is definitely very different to what I expected going into it. Granted, I didn't really have many expectations, but it's not this. I feel like plot-wise there's not much happening, or at least I'm just not picking up on anything. We're getting a lot more questions answered in this book, which is nice. I feel like I'm finally piecing some things together, but I'm actually really intrigued to read this whole series for a second time and hopefully picking up more plot points and clues that have been given in the first books. But I'm looking forward to finishing off the series and checking another one of those off my list. I don't have much to say. Obviously, this is the third book, so I don't want to give too much away. I know that this book series is very polarizing. Some people absolutely love it, and some people really hate it. I feel like I'm kind of sitting in the middle. I'm enjoying it, but I'm confused. So hopefully I will be less confused the more I read, but we'll see. Hi everybody. So I ended up just finishing The Finish Line by Kate Stewart. Somehow. I'm honestly surprised that I did that. I still had 240 pages left, which is wild for me to read in one day. I think I'm going to give this 4 stars. I honestly never know how to put my opinions into words after finishing the series or any of the books in the series, because throughout the book I really feel like nothing is happening, and then I get to the end and it turns out that I actually really love these characters and everything that they've been through. This is definitely a dark, painful story. They go through a lot together, and it's definitely not easy for these characters to be together. And I feel like I say this every time that I talk about this series. I honestly just feel like my appreciation for the series and each of these books will increase on rereads, because there's a lot of hints and bits of information that you are given but are not actually explained anything. And I feel like upon reread I would be able to pick up on a lot more of those and appreciate the story a lot more. But the way that this was written, I really enjoyed. We got some glimpses into our character's past and helped answer a lot of the questions that I had. So yeah, I don't really know what to do with myself right now, but that's the first book done. I'm not going to be reading anything else today for the reading vlog. The next book that I'm going to be starting tomorrow is Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan. I've owned this book for a couple years. I know that it sort of made the rounds a couple years ago and is also very emotional, so just take this as a theme. We're doing mostly dark and heavy romances this week, but I know that this is a lot of people's absolute favorite romance, so I don't know. I'm trying to go into this with not very high expectations. I really don't know that much about it, so I'm intrigued, but I'm going to start this tomorrow. Hi everybody, happy Tuesday. I really thought that I was going to finish this book on the weekend, but I ended up not reading anything, so that's fun. But I am now just past 50% of Archer's Voice, and I'm really hoping to be able to finish it today. I only have about 150 pages left. This book is really not what I thought it was going to be. Both of our main characters have a very traumatic past that they are, I guess, still working through, and they meet in this small town. They become friends, and which obviously leads to more. I don't trust like most of the people in this book, like, even if they haven't given me any reason that they might be like they might have ulterior motives. And the writing also, both of our characters are in their mid-20s, but the way that this is written makes our characters feel really, really young. And so some of the spice, which there's kind of a lot, I didn't think that there was going to be that much spice in this, but some of the spice makes it a little odd because the writing feels so young. It's also very simple. And I feel like I've noticed it more and more the more I read, but I'm trying to find a quote that will sort of explain what I mean. It's just a lot of very short sentences, not a ton of description. Like, I came home and put my keys on the table. Then I went and fed my dog. Then I went and got myself some water. And then I went and let my dog back inside. And then a lot of that sort of thing. And so I feel like I can't really relate to our characters very much. I am enjoying it, but it's not quite what I expected it to be. And I expected more, if I'm being honest. Like, it's cute, but it's not really anything special. So that's where we are. Hi everybody, I have some book updates for you. So I ended up finishing Archer's Voice yesterday, and all my thoughts still stand. This was okay. I didn't think that it was anything special or anything revolutionary, I guess. The way that this was written made our characters feel really, really young, and I found it really hard to connect to any of them. Their relationship was really cute and sweet, but kind of gave like I can fix him vibes, which I don't think was the point, but that's just sort of the feeling that I got from this book. I don't know, I feel like it's really difficult for me to explain my thoughts about this book without giving specific examples. There was some situations that occurred in this book that seemed like they were just thrown in just to move the plot forward because they were resolved like the next page and was totally forgot about after that. Unfortunately, I didn't love this, so I think this is a 3-star. It was fine, but it was not what I was expecting. Then yesterday I started and ended up reading half of Gothicana by Runex. I have this downloaded on my Kindle for a while because I heard that it was going to be taken off of Kindle Unlimited, so I downloaded it when it was still on there. And this is like a dark academia romance, I think. I know that Runex writes pretty dark romances, so I kind of expected this to be a really dark romance going in, and so far, it's not really. It definitely has that spooky, dark academia vibe. We're following Corvina, who is sent this letter to come join this school, but it's like nobody knows about it. Nobody really knows where it is or anything about it. It's a very secret and private school, I guess, and you can only get in by invitation. And the school is apparently haunted, and Corvina is hearing things and finding things. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't fully know what's going on in this book. It feels very much like I'm reading it, but I'm not fully absorbing everything that's going on. I'm not really relating to our characters or what's happening. I feel like the way that this is written, I'm reading what's happening, I'm understanding what's happening, and then the next line, something else is happening, and I don't know where this person or this thing came from. Like, for example, there's one part of this book where some of the students are going out to the forest and they come across this shed, and as I was reading it, they see the shed, they get freaked out, and then they just turn around and leave. And then a couple paragraphs later, they talk about trying the door. I'm like, when were you up that close to this shed? So this could be a me problem, and it might not actually be like the way that it's written, but I'm just not really getting into it. Like, again, it's fine, but it's not really hitting. Also, we just had like a spicy scene, and no, thank you. Just like some of the words and the way that things were described, the spice was not spicing. So I still have quite a bit. I'll have to have like 250 pages. So we'll see if I can finish it today. I'm hoping I can finish it today so I can finish editing this video and be able to have it scheduled for the weekend. But we'll see because my eyes are tired. I read a lot yesterday trying to get a bunch of this book read. So we'll see how far I get today. Hopefully I can finish majority of it, and then I'll just have a tiny bit left to read tomorrow, if any. So I'm going to stop chatting and go try to finish this book. I did it. I ended up finishing Gothic by Brunex today. Everything that I mentioned in the last clip definitely still stands, but I will say I enjoyed the second half significantly more than the first half. I still think that this is going to be leaning towards a 3-star. It was good. It wasn't anything extravagant. And thought I finally read it and read something by Brunex, but I'm definitely glad that I like continued reading it. Not that like I'm not somebody who DNFs books. At this time in my reading journey, I had a couple experiences where the book does get better at the end, and I'm just too curious. I need to know how it ends. So I'm very glad that I finished that. Like I said, the second half was definitely better. We started to get some reveals and explanation as to what's been going on at this school, which definitely helped my understanding of the book. Definitely gave off like spooky Gothic haunted school vibes, and I don't know when this was supposed to be set, but it gave off like historical, like witchy vibes. This was a lot of fun. I think that it would be better read in the fall time, probably, just given the setting and the themes in this book. But yeah, nothing too crazy, but I enjoyed myself. So we'll do a little wrap up. I ended up reading, well, 2.5 books in this reading vlog. First, we started out with The Finish Line by Kate Stewart, which was a 4-star read for me. I really enjoyed this. I think it was a great wrap up of this series. I will say it does kind of feel like an extended epilogue, but I'm really glad that like we got this whole story and we got the full everything between our main characters. I'm actually really excited to reread this series at some point. I say that every single time that I talk about it, but I just think that it will be even better a second time around. This definitely has darker themes, and whatever you think that this book series is about, it's probably wrong. I went into this book series with very minimal expectations, no knowledge of what this series was about, and I was wrong. So overall, I had fun. Definitely got more attached to these characters than I expected, but unfortunately did not quite live up to my prediction of the impact that the series would have on me. But again, I want to read it a second time. Then we read Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan. This was a 3-star read for me. Unfortunately, it did not hit me the way that I hoped or expected. A lot of people say that this is their favorite romance book of all time, and I just didn't get that. I personally didn't connect to the characters or the writing style. I found it to be pretty juvenile, but I had a good time reading it, and I'm curious to read the sequel, Travis. And lastly, I read Gothicana, which I've already returned to Kindle Unlimited, and I just talked about, and is probably 3 stars. So not the best reading week that I've had, unfortunately. Very much middle of the road, nothing extravagant, and no books that I could really articulate. If you've read any of these books, please let me know down below. I would love to chat with you. And let me know what you think that I should read next, what type of reading vlogs you guys want to see. They're a lot of fun, but I never know what kind of theme to do. So if you have ideas, let me know, please and thank you. I really hope that you enjoyed today's video and you have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.